I'm Samantha Brown, professional organizer, decluttering specialist, and business coach. I created Pro Organizers Coach podcast to empower you to reach new heights in your business. I am on a mission to build a supportive sisterhood of passionate professional organizers. So whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just getting started, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Pro Organizers Coach podcast. Today is episode 3 of a 3-part series on additional services that you can offer as a professional organizer. So today I want to talk about working with seniors and the additional services that you specifically can offer to them, but not only them. This works with busy professionals. This works, with so many of our clients. But here recently, I have been evolving and expanding my services that I offer as an organizer. And I realized that as my business grows, it really does open new doors to new opportunities. I honestly never imagined when I first started all of the opportunities that would be offered to me. So I wanted to share some of those stories with you. Not just so you can see what I'm doing, but so you can also see how your own business can expand as well. And one of the areas that I've been diving into is, of course, working with seniors. And I found that it goes way beyond just decluttering. It often looks more like becoming a life organizer in a way, helping with maybe errands or bill paying or creating safety at home. So first, I wanted to share with you 3 different clients that I've recently worked with and how I helped them that was unique. And then I'm going to go into a list of some different things that I have been helping seniors with. So that way you can see if maybe any of these are things that you would like to offer in your business as well. Now, if you've not listened to part 1 and 2 of this series, definitely go back and listen to those because I talked about so many additional services in episode 1, and I talked about entire home decluttering, organization, and decorating in part 2 of this series. All right. So recently I worked with a couple that he's had a stroke, she's had a fall, and they are now in their forever home that they're going to be living in for the rest of their life. They came out of this huge home, they downsized, decluttered, and got moved. Well, once they got moved, they needed someone to come in and help them unpack boxes and put things away. And so that's how we originally started working together. Then I started realizing he was having trouble and so was she with writing things out. So I started actually helping them write their checks out and helping them get their mail ready or writing on the envelope, because we know with elderly people, they still like to use checks. They like to mail in their payments. And so I was able to do some of that for them. And I've also recently, the woman that I was working with of that couple, she's lost some weight. Her clothes were falling off of her. And so I offered to go do some shopping for her. And I got her some new comfy sweatpants to wear. And then we even ordered some stuff for her church dresses, and she's lost weight online. We sat down and did that together. And I've been helping them in so many different ways. And again, I'll go through that list here in a minute, but it honestly has helped me realize how many different ways we can help our senior community, to help each one of them in the way that they need. And that is what, in my opinion, we do as professional organizers / problem solvers, is we help people in our community solve the problems that they are facing. So that's one couple that I now work with once a month. And once a month I come in, I help them write out their bills. I help them with whatever it is that they're needing help with, maybe even washing a load of clothes or changing the sheets on their bed, moving some stuff around, maybe organizing a closet, getting their church clothes laid out for the following couple of weeks. It's the little things with them that they are so thankful for. All right. Another client, I recently had helped her declutter and organize her home, probably 6 or 8 months ago. Well, then they actually decided to put her in assisted living. So she was able to go to physical therapy more often than what she was able to do when she lived on her own. So because we had decluttered and organized ahead of time, it was a lot easier when it was time to move her. So this past week, I actually went and I was able to facilitate the movers coming. So I wasn't doing the moving. They hired movers to come, but I was there to tell them what to take. And I had actually gone the day before and I measured the new place that she was at to see what furniture would fit. Then I went back to her house and measured the different furniture because they had a lot more pieces of furniture on the list than what I figured would fit in that space. So then I had to talk to, the elderly lady that I was helping, but also her daughter over the phone to be like, hey, all of these pieces aren't going to fit. She's in a wheelchair. She's got to be able to turn her wheelchair around and stuff. So that was an interesting one because, I got to kind of go back and forth, figure out what needed to be taken and brought back. And then when the movers came, I got to tell them what to take. And then I also got to pack up some smaller stuff that I knew she needed for the other place, then go over there and help her kind of unpack it. So that was an awesome thing to help her do. And then thirdly, this was a different one that I had probably 6 or 8 months ago. It's been a minute. But I had a man reach out to me from California, and his mom had recently just passed away. She was in assisted living. And when they moved her into assisted living years ago, they took all of her extra stuff and put it in a storage unit that would not fit in her assisted living room, right? So it was a lot of her personal belongings, her paperwork, boxes and boxes of mail. Like there was so much stuff there. So for the estate, for them to be able to close the estate and give it, have everything be finalized, he was either going to have to get a flight and come all the way to Tennessee from California to go through the stuff himself and then write out a list and all the things. Or when he called me, I ended up doing it for him. And so I had to go through and I had to take photos of every item. I had to write out a list of every item that was in that storage unit. Then I had to send it to him. Then he sent it to his family members, like the sisters of his mom that passed, like his aunts and stuff. So he sent it to them. Everyone decided what they wanted. Then I had to go back on the list of what each person wanted. I had to box all of that up and mail that to each person. And then anything that was left over, I had to go through and take the donations to donation and the rest of it to a dump and then turn in the keys. So that way the storage unit was empty. And being able to help someone take the weight off of themselves of this storage unit that they had been putting off for years, and it was the only thing keeping them from being able to be done with her estate. Like she died years ago, but it was the one thing still hanging over his head that he wasn't able to get back and fly back across the country because he worked so much. And so they were just paying for that storage unit every single month just because they didn't know who to contact to be able to help them with that. So I thought that was a really interesting one of being able to help someone, and specifically a senior that, her son was still himself, not necessarily a senior, but he was definitely older and he was still working, but he was talking about how it would be very hard for him physically to be able to travel across the country. And so we have to be able to just think of some of these things that are outside of the box of our norm and realize that there are so many people that need help with so many different things that we could be the solution. So let me give you my 5 points real quick. One is you can help seniors or anyone with life management tasks. So whether that's mail, paperwork, their bills, calendar management, anything that is life management tasks or falls under that, photos, any of that, you can help them with all of that. Number 2 is errand and daily living support, whether that's going grocery shopping, maybe helping them create a meal system or meal plan of some sort, whether that means maybe even prepping some of the meal stuff to get it ready for them so it's easier for them to cook later on in the week. There's definitely, or going shopping or anything that falls under errands that they can't do themselves. that is definitely something that falls under being a professional organizer. Number 3, home safety and downsizing, which is huge. So, the lady I was telling you about that went into assisted living, the reason they called me is because she had had a fall. When they moved her into the home that she was in when I helped her, she had moved from the home she had lived in and her kid had raised her children in for 20 plus years. She had a fall in that home. So they packed up all of her stuff and just kind of threw it into this house that was a one level. But she was in the hospital during that time. So when I came along, she didn't know where anything was. None of the boxes had any kind of like rhythm or rhyme or reason, or nothing had been decluttered from this huge house into this smaller house. And she was so overwhelmed by it. And on top of that, she was now in a wheelchair. So the fall risk was massive because there were boxes everywhere down the halls. And she had been living that way for a few months before they finally called me. And so helping them to reduce fall risks, get accessible storage. So like for her, when I was helping her with her kitchen, I helped her figure out what dishes are you using typically. And we put them in a bottom cabinet because she's in a wheelchair, where typically I would put them in a cabinet up at the top for anyone else. For her, I put them at the bottom so she could access them easy. And then also, another thing that you can help seniors with is preparing for a move. If someone had come in and helped her declutter on the front end before she had the fall, or before she was in the hospital, now someone else was packing and moving her stuff, the move would have been so much easier. The unpacking would have been so much easier. And the problem is a lot of people don't realize or even think about it until it's too late, or they've already had that fall, or they've already gotten hurt. And so it's our responsibility in a way to educate the community of, hey, I can help you with this. So number 4, with helping the elderly, in my opinion, or any client, to be honest, is emotional support. Coaching them through letting go of the sentimental items, offering them companionship, being able to just let them tell their stories that maybe they've not told in forever. Or, if you do decide to help them fix a meal, or, whatever it is you're helping them do, like have that patience and give them the time to talk some things out, because that emotional support is going to mean just as much to them, if not more, than the physical stuff. Now, of course, we still want to declutter and get the things done that we are there to do, but you can always take a moment and let them tell a story, or let them, feel seen and heard and cherished, because as organizers, in my opinion, we are also there for the emotional side as well. And then the 5th thing that we can do, especially for seniors, is we can fill in when family either leaves to go out of state or lives out of state. They may be going on vacation, they may live out of state, or they may live close, but they work so much that they don't have the time. That's what's happening with one of my clients right now. Is every time I'm over there, her daughter is supposed to be coming over, but she hasn't been there recently, or, just because she's so busy with her own family and her own life, she doesn't have the time. And so for me to be able to come in and help with some of the things I'm helping with is huge. It gives my client a friend when she typically doesn't go out of the home because she physically can't. It's very hard for her. She also has a cleaner that comes that's very similar. And having those right people around you as a support system when you are older, or if you have health issues, is huge. And so helping the community again, and in our messaging, if we can help people understand that that's where our heart posture is, and that's what our goal is in helping, is yes, to get it decluttered and organized, and maybe even decorated, and to help you create systems. But it's also to be there and to check in on you, or to, be that extra support person that you may need in your life that isn't going to judge you, that isn't here to tell you you're doing it wrong or right or anything, that's just here as a support system for you. So the takeaway is you're not just decluttering and organizing. You're giving them their dignity, their independence, and peace of mind for them and maybe their families, especially if you're going once or twice a week. That's peace of mind for the family as well. And for many seniors, this is life-changing support. It literally can change their life. I know it has for many of my clients. And when you can see a senior and the way they were when you first started working with them, and then you see them grow and you see, as you help them go through things, the weight that comes off and they're happier and they're able to, do more things for themselves because now the plates that they couldn't reach that used to be way up high are now down where they can reach them. So now they can make their own meal. Little things like that are huge for the senior community. So this wraps up my 3-part client series of additional services that you can offer as a professional organizer / problem solver, which is what we are. I wanted to make sure to mention that inside of my How to Work with Clients as a Professional Organizer course, I show you how to confidently serve clients like seniors with compassion and structure. You will learn how to set boundaries, expand your services, and make a real impact in your community. So I hope that this series has given you fresh ideas for expanding your business, maybe serving your clients in some new ways, and feeling more confident about the value that you can bring to your clients and to your community. And if you're ready to take the next step in your journey as a professional organizer, make sure to go to proorganizerscoach.com, where you can find all the links there. And you can also go to proorganizersacademy.com to find all of the steps to start and grow the organizing business of your dreams. All right, I'll see you in the next episode.